It looks like Marshall Mathers, aka Eminem, is throwing his weight around and has sued one of the real Housewives of Potomac. Is that the name of it? For trademark infringement. We're going to get off into the BET article, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts as a 10-year intellectual property on whether or not a 10-year intellectual property attorney on whether or not I think Eminem is going to be successful. This is an interesting one. Look it. I know it's a lot of Real Husband and Housewives, and I typically don't watch TV. Definitely not watching maybe those shows. But I knew it was a Real Husband, real Hollywood Housewives of Atlanta. I know it was one of like in California, but apparently they have a Real Housewives of Potomac, which apparently Potomac is a city in Maryland. So one of the guests, or two of the guests on the original show kind of team up and did a podcast. They named their podcast Reasonably Shady. And it seems like your boy Eminem wasn't taking too kindly of using the word shady for the podcast, for the name of the podcast. So he slapped him with a trademark infringement suit. It seems like that is still ongoing, but it looks to be wrapping up here soon. Like I said, we're going to take a look at the article here, and we're going to read through it. And then at the end, I'm going to let you guys know my thoughts on whether or not I think Eminem is going to be successful or not. As I pull up this BET article, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community, where we talk everything intellectual property. Again, this is a short article, so it shouldn't take us that long. This is Giselle Bryant. Again, she seems like she's a little older here, but back in the day, it seemed like she was straight. Eminem is banned in Giselle Bryant's home at the trademark battle. So it seems like Giselle, they're taking it personal, and they're not playing any Eminem music in the home or in the car for that matter. It'll be interesting on whether or not they are if they listen to Eminem music outside of this. But we'll see here. Bryant and her daughters aren't here for Slim Shady's music amid a podcast naming dispute. Giselle Bryant and her kids have made it clear that Eminem has no place on their playlist. During a recent interview with People at the Love Hotel premiere screening last month, the Real Housewives of Potomac, and I'm pronouncing that wrong. To the extent that I am, let me know in the comment section. I'm not sure. Real Housewives of Potomac. That's crazy. Star unveiled their strict family rule regarding the Detroit rapper's music. Oh my God, no, the reality shared. And it's funny because if it comes on the radio in the car, my kids will be like, that's Eminem, turn it. My kids are on top of it. They know, no Eminem for us. So it seems like they've taken this personal, and every time Eminem comes on, whether it's in the house or in the home or in the car, I should say, they're turning the music, they're turning the channel or the station. Bryant, whose mom is two daughters, Grace. I don't like that sentence. Bryant, whose mom is two daughters, Grace, and twin Angela and Adore, is currently embroiled in a legal dispute with the Lose Yourself MC. The issue initially began back in December of 2023 when a rapper, both born Marshall Mathers, filed a lawsuit against Bryant. And it seems like in another, I guess her former co-star of the Real Housewives of Potomac, over their podcast, Reasonably Shady, citing trademark infringement related to the word shady in the title. Bryant told the outlet she found the conflict foolishness, adding, I want it to be over for sure. Still, the podcast appears to be thriving. According to the Bravo star, the series is garnering 10 million downloads strong in our 5th season. So it seems like they've been kind of doing numbers. 10 million downloads is pretty, hey, that's straight. That's straight. The Eminem lawsuit is still ongoing. She continued, we're at the tail end, but you have to understand, it's like a patent and trade issue. They have their own timeline for when it's over. So we're on their timeline. And I will agree with her on this. When you're dealing with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, they are on their own timeline. And this stuff does not go away fast, unfortunately. But it seems like it's coming to an end here. According to Bryant, the next steps is for Eminem himself to be disposed, despite the rapper previously requesting a protective order to avoid deposition, citing limited personal involvement in the management of his trademark. So it seems like he has a management team or some type of management company managing his trademark, and therefore does not want to get deposed because he's like, hey, man, I have nothing to do with it. Yeah, I own the trademarks, but I don't deal with the management of it, and therefore deposing me would not kind of be of any value. Interestingly, while Eminem remains off limits, Bryant noted that his longtime collaborator, Dr. Dre, still gets playtime in their household, indicating the feud is strictly business. So it seems like they still mess with your boy Dr. Dre. Eminem, not so much. So as I bring it back on myself, this is interesting because I kind of take the headphones off. This is interesting because when you file for trademark protection, you have to let the USPTO or the United States Patent and Trademark Office know how you're using a mark. You have to file it. You have to file for the trademark in a particular class. You don't file for a trademark and it's protected in everything under the sun. You have to actually let the USPTO know what class are you going to be in or you're operating a business in. So if you're in clothing, you're going to file for a trademark protection in class 25. If you're somewhere in entertainment services, you're going to protect that trademark in class 41. You have to let the USPTO know what class you're filing for trademark protection in. So obviously we know Eminem, musician, and I guess he has the name, Shady, Slim Shady. And again, I would imagine that he has it in entertainment. And again, I guess to be fair to Eminem, the podcast industry is in entertainment as well, which is class 41. But those seem to be two different things altogether. Let me know if you think Slim Shady or Shady is going to be, you'll get confused with Reasonably Shady for a podcast. Again, it doesn't appear that, at least to my knowledge, Eminem is doing any podcast. So it's not like just because they're using the name Shady in that podcast space that'd be a likelihood of confusion or confusingly similar. So again, I think, in my personal opinion, I think Eminem has it's an uphill battle on this one. In my case, I don't think that him being a musician and an entertainer and Slim Shady, whatever the case may be, that he does have kind of some trademark protection on. I don't think it's a likelihood of confusion with the term Reasonably Shady for a podcast. That's just me. I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section. This stuff is important because, again, as you're kind of, thinking about names for your podcast or whatever your business is going to be, you want to make sure that you are not going to, kind of find yourself in a trademark dispute. Again, I, just talked about Buc-ee's, which is a super gas station, and how they've been kind of forcing gas stations to close left and right. Barcy's, which is a gas station in the Ozark, St. Louis, Missouri, that recently opened. They, Buc-ee's made them close because they sued them for trademark infringement. Barcy's, Buc-ee's, and Ducky's is another one in the Ozarks that Buc-ee's kind of forced to kind of bring to the table, and essentially made them do a settlement because of the kind of trademark infringement. So you want to make sure when you're filing or starting a business and coming up with a brand name or name of the podcast or whatever the case may be, you are doing a search to make sure that that is not infringing potentially on someone else's brand or someone else's name. I would imagine that Giselle Bryant and her co-host did that with the Reasonably Shady podcast. Like I said, I think your boy Eminem is stretching on this one, but you may, reasonable minds may differ. So let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong or if you think that it'll be a likelihood of confusion. Again, as we get up out of here, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community where we talk everything intellectual property. And last but not least, came out with a ebook that's in the description section, and it's kind of essentially going from, it's called Got IP, and it's going from you kind of coming up with an ideal or whatever the case may be, all the way to you monetizing that ideal. And it's going through every step in the process. I interview a lot of the Shark Tank guests, which comes out every week, and a lot of those stories are interweaved throughout that ebook. So it's a pretty dope ebook, and though they are flying off the shelves, a lot of people have been scooping those up. So go check out that as well. But yeah, other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like I said, please leave the comments of what you think in the comment section, and I'll check you guys out on the next one. Peace.